thunderstorm air purifier. It uses proven oxy technology, quickly destroys odors. You'll love it. I love it. In fact, with over 265,000 already sold and countless five-star reviews, I know you're going to love yours. Gary, I know you love yours.
Oh, yeah. It's a powerful thunderstorm, Eric, and it sends out O3 molecules which seek out and destroy odors. These molecules even go behind and under furniture. Nothing can hide from the thunderstorm. Best of all, no filters to buy over and over again, and it saves you money.
Right now, you can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. You get 3 units for under $200. Go to EdenPureDeals.com, put in our discount code REDEYE, and save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com, discount code REDEYE. Shipping is free. Want to save on diesel, repair and maintenance, tires, and oil changes? Love's Travel Stops has the card for you. With the Love's Express card, you can save up to 14 cents per gallon, $25 on tire purchases, and even more on service costs. With 600 locations nationwide, you need this card. Love's Express eliminates the hassle of cash or credit cards and brings consistent and competitive pricing no matter the size of your fleet. Go to loves.com/diesel discount and unlock a special offer. Loves.com/diesel discount.
Red Eye Radio and our sponsors are devoted to trucking safety. That's why we are proud to bring you the Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club. We've been saluting drivers who have surpassed the million-mile mark with preventable accident-free driving. By reaching this milestone, you can be a part of an elite club of drivers who share remarkable safety records and demonstrate superior driving skills. If you or someone you know is a truck driver with 1,000,000 miles or more of driving under your belt without a preventable accident, register online at redeyeradioshow.com. That's redeyeradioshow.com. The Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club would not be possible without the generous support of the fine folks from Petro Stopping Centers, Howe's Lubricator, Motel 6, the St. Christopher Fund, and Cat Scale. We applaud the individual truckers and fleets who drive with care and keep our highways safe. The Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club, devoted to trucking safety. Register online at redeyeradioshow.com.
The St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund invites all over the road Class A CDL holders to join our smoking cessation program, Rigs Without Cigs. Participants receive tools to assist in quitting, along with support and accountability from the program manager and others in the program. Incentive packages are offered by the Road Pro family of brands for all who stop using tobacco through the Rigs Without Cigs program. Go to truckersfund.org under the Health and Wellness tab and sign up for Rigs Without Cigs.
News Radio 1440 is WLWI AM and 95.1 HD3 FM of Montgomery, a Cumulus media station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. Tens of thousands of customers have no power in the Northeast today as a powerful nor'easter moves out. CBS's Deborah Rodriguez is in the thick of it.
The snow fell fast and furiously here in upstate New York, piling up to more than a foot before it changed over to icy rain, then all rain, giving utility crews a chance to tend to power and internet outages. In Brattleboro, Vermont,
honestly, this is the heaviest snow I've ever seen.
Anatoly Holchek staring at more than 2 feet and fallen trees blocking the streets. At least 5 semi-trucks jackknifed at the Maine-New Hampshire state line. And in Boston, Will Holbrook summed it up.
It's New England, and it's still March. Winter's not over yet.
Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News in upstate New York.
About 100 people are trapped in California's Tulare County after yet another atmospheric river drenched the Golden State. KGPE TV reporter Esteban Reynoso has more.
A helicopter normally used to fight wildfires is now carrying hundreds of pallets of food to people stranded in Tulare County.
Emergency food rations and water for those trapped residents.
Strong currents from the South Fork Kaweah River completely washed out roads.
In Texas, a hearing will be held today in a lawsuit that seeks to overturn the FDA's approval of an abortion pill. Dr. Kristen Brandy on what will happen if that lawsuit succeeds.
It would be devastating because a lot of people rely on this medication. It's something that has been the standard of care for over 20 years.
The drug has become the most common method of abortion in the U.S. Ohio is taking Norfolk Southern to court over last month's derailment and toxic fire in East Palestine. Dave Yost is the state's attorney general.
I'm concerned that Norfolk and Southern maybe putting profits for their own company above the health and safety of cities and communities that they operate in.
Embattled U.S. Representative George Santos of New York says he's not going anywhere. CBS's Nicole Killian has the latest.
New York Congressman George Santos has filed paperwork to run again in 2024. The Long Island Republican submitted a statement of candidacy to the Federal Election Commission. Santos has not officially announced his re-election, but the filing does allow him to raise money.
Santos is under investigation over allegations including sexual misconduct and campaign finance violations. NASA has released an image captured by the Webb Space Telescope, which shows a star about to die. CBS News space consultant Bill Harwood has more.
What pictures like this show are the details leading up to those final moments, which are really important in terms of stellar evolution and how the elements that make life possible, for example, are actually formed.
Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-711-6818 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. 800-711-6818.
I can't believe tax season is here already. But look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
A star makes a big announcement on social media.
Lindsay Lohan is expecting her first child, and she couldn't be more excited.
Call me.
The Mean Girls star made the announcement on Instagram, posting a photo of a white baby onesie with the message "Coming soon" in black letters. A baby bottle is one of the emojis. This will be the 36-year-old's first child with her husband, Bader Shamas. The two got married in 2022 after a brief engagement. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Guinness says a Texas woman has become the longest-serving female radio host in the world. 85-year-old Mary McCoy started her career in 1951. She has spent nearly 72 years on the airwaves, getting her first big break at the age of 12. That's when she signed up to participate in a talent show at KMCO Radio. She told the station she wanted
radio and digital campaign that will get your business results. Hi, I'm Sonia Thompson, and it's my job to get your business results on News Radio 1440. To learn more about how to get started, go to newsradio1440.com and click on Grow Your Business.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Don't miss Sean Hannity.
Biden incoherently adheres
Live this afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Your WSFA First Alert weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by AC by LaQuire. AC by LaQuire is celebrating 40 years of comfort. They've proudly serviced the river region since 1983. Contact them for your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs. Visit acbyluquire.com for a list of services and offers today. That's acbyluquire.com. License number 84417.
Another very cold start this morning, down in the low and mid-30s under a clear sky. Plenty of sunshine will warm us up nicely today into the low 60s, so not a bad afternoon for our Wednesday. For tonight, another cold one down into the mid-30s, mostly clear skies. Plenty of sunshine again tomorrow, but how about the low 70s? We'll take that. A little breezy in the afternoon, and widespread rain and perhaps a few thunderstorms after stay on Friday. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Sealy for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Sons Automotive, family owned, family driven on News Radio 1440.
Reporting Montgomery, right now things are looking good. Nothing being reported this Wednesday morning to see you on an alternative route. Interstate system moving smoothly into the Tri-County area from Clanton, Auburn, and Greenville. No problems on 231 south out of Wetumpka, north out of Troy. So keep listening, we'll keep you posted. Learn to operate heavy equipment and earth-moving equipment at Trenton State. Registration is now open. Call Trenton State, today's college for tomorrow's world. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Belay.
Attention River Region listeners, take advantage of 4 new tires with no money down at Chico's Auto Pros, Montgomery's #1 rated tire store. Chico's Auto Pros.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams with WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Wednesday. Alabama House Bill 1 is officially on its way to the Senate. This bill allocates the remaining $1 billion from the American Rescue Plan Act. It is cleared a portion of that would go to hospitals and nursing homes. Officials say hospitals are still working to recover financially from the pandemic. If you suffered damage in the January 12th tornadoes, you have just 1 day left to apply for assistance from FEMA. The deadline is March 16th for storm victims in Watauga, Coosa, Dallas, Fillmore, and Tallahassee counties. The Traveling Vietnam War Memorial will be at Maxwell Air Force Base today as part of Operation Homecoming. It is a massive effort to return nearly 600 American prisoners of war held by military in Iraq. The public can visit the tribute today from 8 until 5, and there will be a ceremony at 10 a.m. You need to register for base access if you want to attend. I'm Jasmine Williams, and you can Morning Headline.
Is your tub worn out, but you're not sure who to trust to replace it? With over 2 million successful bath remodels, people trust Bathfitter because we know how to do it right. We've been custom designing and manufacturing baths for over 35 years. Our unique tub-over-tub installation takes as little as a day with no demo to fit your busy schedule. And we offer a lifetime warranty on every tub. That's how confident we are in our quality and durability. Bathfitter, it just fits. Visit bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent, but then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Paid for by Altimetry Research. Joel Littman is a forensic accountant and CPA who consults regularly with the Department of Defense at the U.S. Pentagon, the FBI, and the U.S. Marines War College. And about a month ago, Littman went public with a huge and controversial prediction about 2024 and how the events in the coming year would affect you and your money. At the time, most people probably thought his prediction was far-fetched or even impossible. But now, a recent poll by NPR shows that Joel Littman's prediction might actually be coming true, with numbers not seen in almost a year. No one is more plugged into the true state of the markets and the economy than him. This is why all 10 of the world's biggest money managers and more than half of the 300 biggest financial firms have read his work. Learn about the huge change Joel Littman is predicting for 2024 and how it will affect you and your money at economywarning.com. Please note, this is not a political ad. You see, there's an opportunity for millions of Americans to become vastly wealthier, but there's a really big downside too. You can access his full analysis free of charge by visiting economywarning.com. economywarning.com. Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2, have a plan to get there. Step 3, make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Unify Systems Incorporated has a job opening in Montgomery, Alabama for the position of MES Administrator. Job duties include installing, configuring, and supporting MES for manufacturing execution systems and other network systems, and monitor those systems to ensure their availability and security. The position requires a bachelor or foreign equivalent degree in computer science, computer engineering, or a related field. Must have demonstrated knowledge through education or experience in computer programming, Java and C++. Database systems, SQL, microcontroller control, embedded programming, computer communication and networks, design data and algorithms, and operating system. Send resume to HR, Unify Systems Incorporated, 8650 Minnie Brown Road, Suite 223, Montgomery, Alabama 36117. Again, Unify Systems Incorporated has a job opening in Montgomery for the position of MES Administrator. Send resume to HR,
whatever that means.
Unify Systems Incorporated, 8650 Minnie Brown Road, Suite 223, Montgomery, Alabama 36117.
Telling it like it really is.
That's the fact, Jack!
It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
And here we go.
You need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
Tomorrow morning, if you wake up and the sun does not appear, I will be here.
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It's time to rise and shine. For once again, one more day, you're on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is News Radio 1440. It is time for our daily bread, a word from on high, something that'll change your perspective. I'll give you a new one. Either way, it's good for the soul. Good morning. It is the 15th day of March, 2023 AD. Today's daily bread is simply entitled Still Before God. Our scripture insight today is Psalms 46. Psalms 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Govern yourselves accordingly for your edification. And good morning again. It is March the 15th. It is a day that has never been. It is a day that once it's gone, it will never, ever come back again. You don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get a chance to come back and do all the things today that you were supposed to do, but didn't. And more importantly, you don't get a chance to come back and undo the things that you do. So whatever it is that you do with this day, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done on this day. If you've lived a while, you've seen, you've heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace, mercy, and patience of God, we may, I'm not sure, we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day, March the 15th, that is the first day of the rest of our lives. What are we going to do with them? Well, whatever we do, make sure that if tomorrow should be, we'll be proud of what we have done. Benjamin Elijah May said, whatever we do in life, we should do it so well, no man living, no man dead, no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say if that is the standard by which you live life, you should always be successful. Oh, you'll fail at a thing or two. We all do. But you'll never be a failure until you quit. We say give out if you must. Rest if you can. But you never, never, ever give up. You never quit. My mother said nothing beats a failure but a try. One foot in front of the other. Keep moving. Martin Luther King said, if you cannot run, walk. And if you cannot walk, crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. Don't ever, ever, never give up. Because winners don't quit. And quitters, well, they never win. And no matter what happens this day, remember this. It is a great day, as the days of old, to be alive. Good morning to you. Still before God. That's our daily bread for today, March the 15th.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Our reading today, titled Still Before God, was written by James Banks. The first photograph of a living person was taken by Louis Daguerre in 1838. The photo depicts a figure on an otherwise empty avenue in Paris in the middle of an afternoon, but there's an apparent mystery about it. The street and sidewalk should have been bustling with the traffic of carriages and pedestrians at that time of day, yet none can be seen. The man wasn't alone. People and horses were there on the busy Boulevard des Templiers, the popular area where the photo was taken. They just didn't show up in the picture. The exposure time to process the photograph, known as daguerreotype, took 7 minutes to capture an image, which had to be motionless during that time. It appears that the man on the sidewalk was the sole person photographed because he was the only one standing still. He was having his boots shined. Sometimes stillness accomplishes what motion and effort can't. God tells his people in Psalm 46:10, "Be still and know that I am God." Even when nations are in uproar and the earth shakes, those who quietly trust in him will discover in him an ever-present help in trouble. The Hebrew verb rendered be still can also be translated cease striving. When we rest in God, instead of relying on our own limited efforts, we discover Him to be our unassailable refuge and strength. Join me now for a reading of Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy place where the Most High dwells. God is within her, she will not fall. God will help her at break of day. Nations are in uproar, kingdoms fall. He lifts his voice, the earth melts. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Come and see what the Lord has done, the desolations he has brought on the earth. He makes wars cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. He says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress." Let's pray. Heavenly Father, please help us to trust in you and to rest in the quiet awareness of your unfailing love. Thank you, Lord. And it's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen. Thanks for listening today. My name is Wes Ward, and today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
It's time to rise and shine, Montgomery. You got the word? Now it's time to get up with the birds. Let's go to work. Well, there's one thing that's going to happen if you don't do anything. Nothing. So get up and hit it again. Time to rise. Time to get up. You know, PT's coming up next. We got one day of PT left, and then it's on to something else. All right? Can we do it? General! Wait yet. There we go. There we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All the way, gotta be
Rough and tough, airborne, every day, we run to the sun, no sweat, not it.
Down in the mess hall on my knees, down in the mess hall on my knees.
We got nothing to eat but a can of beans.
Nothing to eat but a can of beans.
The bread was moldy and the meat was bad.
The bread was molded and the meat was well, you know
darn well that you can't eat that.
Hey, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Here we go.
Here we go.
All the way.
All the way.
Gotta be rough and tough, airborne, all the way.
Woo!
When I was young, I always wanted to be
Time to rise and shine.
on knees in the breeze.
Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight.
All the way, airborne, all the way, driving on.
This goes out to all my Vietnam veterans this morning.
Early one morning in the
Oh, yeah. Well, I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go. Green light lead to the clearing blow. 50 years. 50 years. Wow.
driving on.
And they're still driving on.
We go.
Here we go.
All the way.
All the way.
Gotta be
rough and tough. Airborne. All the way. All right, and now we pay homage to all of our armed forces of the United States on this 50th celebration of our ending. Oh, not yet. We got to do PT. We'll come back with that one. Oh, mine's getting older. Hard work, work. Hard work, work. I earn my pay. Hard work, and every day I get up about 2:45. gain to work, hard work, work, work. That's what they say. Hard work, work. I earn my pay. Woo! Hard work, work. And get on down. Hard work, oh, and go to prom. Hard work, work, work. Oh yeah. Hard work, work. Let's go to work. Hard work, work. That's what they say. Hard work. I earn my pay. Oh yeah. Hard work, work. Hard work, work, work. There we go. Hard work, work. I'm riding the road. Hard work, work. I'm learning. Woo! Hard work. Do it every day. Come on. Hard work, work. Oh. Hard work, work. On the airplane. In the early morning rain. That's what they say. Hard work. I earn my pay. Woo! Oh yeah. Hard work, work. All right, let's go there. Let's go. Sing them on down. Hard work, work. The mission goes. Hard work, work. That's what they say. Hard work. I earn my pay. Come on. It ain't over yet. Woo. Okay. All right then. It was 50 years ago that we decided to leave Vietnam. And while most of us, well, most of y'all, no, not this audience, this audience right here probably remembers, but most of us was young. 50 years ago, I was 15 years old. I heard of Vietnam, but I wasn't trying to get over there. But 50 years ago, we officially brought our boys home after 58,000 people went there. We'll get into that sometime today. There's going to be a celebration on Maxwell Air Force Base today. You have to register before you go out there. Tell you some interesting facts about Vietnam. Not that I was there. I was too young at the time, 1973. Yeah, I was 77. Yeah, I was 15, 14 years old, something like that. But I vaguely remember the war. We want to say welcome home, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard personnel this morning. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, it is your day today, Vietnam veterans. It is your day today. I'm not giving you anything, but hey, I'd like to hear from you this morning. And you know, all this time they never called Vietnam a war. You know why? I'll tell you. So, where were you 50 years ago today? Where were you 50 years ago? Well, unfortunately, there are a lot of folks in Montgomery, Alabama, and around this nation that were in the deep Southeast Asian jungle, the place called Vietnam. Most of us couldn't find it today on a map, but our country left a lot of soldiers, our blood, sweat, and tears on that land. And we have never really ever wished them a welcome home. Oh, we've made some attempts to act like we cared, but we, as a nation, we haven't. And one of the reasons is because it never was called a war. So why wasn't it called a war? It had all the looks of a war. People were dying like it was a war. Our men and women and were overseas and in our uniform, our armed forces, looks like a war to them. Why wasn't it ever called a war? Well, I'll tell you that sometime this morning when we come back. But to the men and women of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and Marines, it was a war. And some of their buddies that didn't come home. It was a war. No matter what the bureaucrats called it, people were dying, blood being left here and there, coming home in a mess. Because we didn't have what was called PTSD then. We just called them crazy. We called them touched. Well, I've learned a lot of things in 50 years. And there are a lot of things in life that you can't put a title on. But again, we salute all of those people today. And it's going to be a commemoration out on Maxwell Air Force Base today. I think it starts about 10 o'clock. But if you want to get on base, if you don't happen to have military ID, you got to register. I don't know how that's it. Maybe I'll call somebody up or somebody to call us and tell us when. But you can do it. For once, let's spend this day and welcome. You know those guys who walk around the Vietnam handle? I hope not. Some of them are fakers. Okay, but we don't know. We don't know. But for those who do, for those who have been there, who spent their time in hell already, we welcome them home today. And may the commemoration, I don't know about celebrating, maybe the commemoration of your sacrifice and your service to this nation. Because remember, politicians tell us where to go. We just go where we're told to go. Soldiers don't like war because that means they're the ones who be doing the dying. They're the ones who be doing the hurting. They're the ones who come home with part of their body left in a distant land. So we don't like war. War is a nasty business. But just like today, we have young men who are prepared to go and do exactly what we are asked to do, and that is fight our nation's wars. So be careful who you put in charge of our military and of our country, because we're the people. Your sons, your daughters are the people that will be fighting those wars. So why wasn't Vietnam called a war? I'll tell you that this morning. We'll be back after this with lessons of life and the lead word of the day. It is 6:37. Again, welcome home, Vietnam veterans. Super 5. With them. We oppress our Libra to free the oppressed. And all the other cliches and mottos that go along with our armed forces: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Good morning to you.
You buy Sons Automotive, family owned, family driven on News Radio 1440. Months ago, Cloud9, the most notorious esports organization in North America, paid over $1 million for EA, the best Valorant player in the world. Now, in less than half a year, EA and Cloud9 have parted ways. While Cloud9 is being tight-lipped about the situation, fans speculate the organization couldn't afford to pay such a high salary. Now, more down things about free agent. Where do we go? Are you concerned about the IRA and 401k with everything that's going on in the world? Well, you should be. Securing your IRA or 401k with your gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, you pick your precious metals, and that's it. Call Oxford Gold today. About additional free bonus opportunities you might be eligible for. Call 833-899-GOLD. 833-899-4653. Call right now.
Ever wonder why your business doesn't show up on online search maps, but your competitors do? It's hundreds of things. But Cumulus Boost can identify and fix. And that's how we boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUSBoost.com.
Trustworthy, consistent, reliable, the best at what they do. This is what customers are saying about Janny King, the king of clean. From office buildings to schools, healthcare facilities, and stadiums, our local franchise owners provide the same quality clean at every level. Let us put our 35 years of experience to work for you. Go to JannyKingCleans.com now. That's JANIKING Cleans.com. Franchise opportunities also available at JannyKingCleans.com.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I found that cool.
What's the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You will really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just things. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere. University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try it for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
I'm telling you, traffic is terrible. It sure is, but it's cool. Gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently. I can put a car outside. I never paid for the price I got anymore. I just use the free outside. That means cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. You said you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the outside app? Yes, I get real cash back. And I don't know about that. And then I actually $200. That's serious extra cash. Yeah, I know the free outside app now. And now I know the free outside app. You can do that. That didn't pay for gas. You still pay less. That's the 45 cents per gallon cash back. And still, you can cash out any time. That's a great thing. It's a great thing.
We will cybersecurity. It's NordVPN. With a few simple clicks, NordVPN will block online trackers, secure your devices from malware-infected downloads, and block access to illicit websites. With NordVPN, enjoy the internet without checklists, without malicious websites, without malware-ridden files. Be your cybersecurity. Start the deal now at NordVPN.com. Attorney CPA Joe Cordell,
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. They have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters. For matters in Tennessee, visit Cordell.com. West Martin Luther King Boulevard, Suite 1000, Chattanooga, Tennessee. 3740 representation is made that the quality of legal services will be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. I'm Martin better than that, and I love you guys. I told you about how your nose is about your character. Think about just how it's simple to help out allergies, viruses, mucus, and germs. And then Nevada will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Nevada? Like Haley, quote, Nevada is the best thing I've bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with the stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Nevada and it's amazing. For this one, use the nose every night. Not one night to put a mask before I found out how to think about the mask. It would be so much better. Unquote. Those are really well. 100,000 using active solutions provided to millions of people the box is available at Walmart, CVS, Walmart.
Telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show on News Radio 1440.
That's right. Today's music is provided by the happenings of the 1960s, during the creation of this thing called Vietnam. So, the young men and women who left here 17, 18, 19 years old, who came back 100 years old, or at least a lot older, richer than they were when they left. I get wherever that is. Like 15, I barely know what's going on now. Anyway, good morning to you. It's time to rise, and again, if you are a Vietnam veteran, you get a call today. Let us give you some props. I'll even make an exception to this. That'd be good. Now, I don't want to be Vietnam veteran. Good morning to you. All right, then. Lessons of life today and the legal word of the day. I'm doing a legal word of the day. So just in case you find yourself on the other side of the law and they get to sprouting all these words out, well, you should know what some of them mean anyway. And let's get started. The legal word of the day, or the Delta word of the day, is grand jury. You always heard about them. We heard of the grand jury. And I thought the grand jury was like a meet of a grand wizard or something like that. I don't know. People go in the room playing with demise. I don't know what they do in there. They're in there. And sometimes you get called in front of the grand jury and all that good stuff. But what is it? The grand jury is a body of 16 to 53 citizens who listen to evidence of criminal allegations, which is presented by the prosecutor, not the defense, but the prosecutor. It's a one-sided affair. And then they try to determine whether there is probable cause to believe an individual committed such an offense. Now, it's my understanding that you can go in front of the grand jury if you ask them to. That's what don't take that. Call Darrell Bailey's office and find if that's true or not. But that's what I have been told that you can go. But most of the time, you don't know that they're thinking about sticking it to you anyway. But if you find out, you might want to go again to defend yourself, or maybe not. I don't know. I've never had. I don't know if my name being in front of a grand jury. That's possible. It could have been because they did all this stuff. Although I've been a pretty decent citizen all these years. Okay, I got my moments, but for the most part, I've been a pretty good citizen. So I try to stay out of trouble. A grand jury, a body of 16 to 23 citizens who listen to evidence of criminal allegations, which is presented by the prosecutor. And it's a one-sided affair. It's not for you, it's for the prosecutors to see whether or not they're going to stick it to you. Okay? And they determine whether or not there's probable cause to believe an individual committed an offense. So it's a one-sided. Remember, the grand jury is not to help you. They're not your friend. Okay? The grand jury is not your friend. They're in there trying to find something to stick it to you with. Okay, I'm just saying, you might want to remember that. Lesson of life today. These are things you learn by living. There's no other way. There's no substitute. They are things you just learn by living. And it's like running a mile. I use this example all the time because it is the most salient way to make you understand. You cannot know, you do not know what it's like to run a mile unless you have ran it. You don't get the feeling by sitting at home on the couch. You don't know what it's like to be in a football game unless you played the game. You don't know what it's like to be a paratrooper unless you jumped out of the plane. Okay? You don't know what it's like to be in a submarine unless you've been under all that water with all that pressure. So you can only use your imagination. And most of the time, your imagination is not good enough. So I'm just saying, that's what lessons of life are. The things that you learn by living. And today's lesson of life is a very simple one. And if you listen to it, you'll probably figure out that I'm right. Saying I am sorry does not mean that you are right or wrong. It means that you care about the person and the situation. So never be afraid to say I'm sorry because you think it means I'm admitting guilt or anything like that, and that is not the case. It really means that you are sorry and that you care about the person. Yeah. That's it. That's the lesson I like today. Don't ever be afraid to stand yourself. Sometimes it will mend broken hearts, it will mend friendships, or it will destroy something. So again, moms, dads, we don't always make the best decision for our kids. At the moment when we make the decision, we think, to give you a point. One time, me and Z was in McDonald's. We were in McDonald's. And there's a little kid up there. He had this toy in his hand, and this little kid wanted it. This little kid wanted the toy. I said, well, beautiful. And Z had him at home. And Z said, no. So what I did was, and I must admit, I was a rambling idiot at that particular moment, but I thought I was doing really good. I took his toy, and I took it from him and gave it to the child. Now, at that particular time, I didn't realize that from a child's perspective, why are you taking something belong to me and give to somebody else? My goal was to teach him how to share. But I had to apologize for the way I did it. So hey, and I said I'm sorry. And I have been for many years. And every once in a while he'll remind me again. All I can do is say I'm sorry. But I took this toy and gave it to somebody that I thought he was being stupid. I should have given it something really. I should give it. Okay. I'll take my listen of that. Anyway, it is March the 15th. It is the 74th day of the year. On this day, 44 BC, I don't know how they know it's 44 BC.
Ides of March.
Yeah, I don't know how they know what year it was.
Ides of March.
Yeah, because it says BC, Ides of whatever.
Ides of March.
But I'm just trying to figure out how they know what date it was. March the 15th, 44 BC.
Then Caesar was there.
Yeah, I know, but they don't know what date it was. Yes, they do. No, they don't. Because before Christ, which is what BC stands for, they don't know what year. They just came up with a date. No. Yeah, they just came up with a date. Some man made it.
The Gregorian calendar.
Some guy made that. Right. So they don't know what year it really was.
That's the year we're going back.
Oh, let's see, we're going back. No.
It's 2008.
So what we're saying on March
the Gregorian calendar.
Right. On the great. Okay. So we need to put that in there. No, we do. We really do. Because if you say before Christ, then I mean Moses lived to be 170 years old. Yeah. I know they're not saying we don't know what Gregorian. Okay. So we just didn't say that. We need to say Gregorian calendar. Right. Right. Somebody came up with it. Anyway, on March the 15th, 44 BC, Roman dictator Julius Caesar was assassinated by a group of nobles that included Brutus and Cassius. don't really know those brothers, but that's what they said. 1493, Italian explorer Christopher Columbus arrived back in Spanish harbor of Palos de la Tortuga, or close to it, 2 months after concluding his first voyage to the Western Hemisphere. I don't know, to this day, I don't think he knew. 1820, Maine became the 23rd state on this day. 1913, President Woodrow Wilson met about 100 reporters for the first formal presidential press conference. The year was 1960, and U.S. expeditionary force led by Brigadier General John J. Pershing entered Mexico and ultimately futile mission to capture Montgomery, whose raiders had attacked Columbus, New Mexico, killing 18 U.S. citizens. In 1919, members of the American Expeditionary Force for World War I convened in Paris for a 3-day meeting to found the American Legion. The year was 1937. My mother was born. America's first hospital blood bank was opened in Cook County, Illinois, and they still need it today. What's going on in Illinois? In Cook County. 1944, during World War II, Allied bombers invaded German-held Monte Cassino. Where was that? 1956, the Lerner and Lowe lady based on Bernard Shaw's Big Malone, opened in Broadway. I don't know the EYGMA. With this one wrote Big Malone. 1977, the U.S. House of Representatives began a 94 to determine the feasibility of protection on television. And worked out pretty good. We see different things. The Situation Comedy Food Company, starring John Ritter, Joyce DeWitt, and Susan Summers, on ABC. 1985, the first internet domain name, symbolic.com, was registered by Symbolic Computer Corporation, Massachusetts. 1998, CBS 60 Minutes aired an interview with former White House employee Kathleen Willey, who said President Bill Clinton had made unwelcome sexual advances toward her in the Oval Office. 1993. A charge denied by the president. Hey, I wish you would have that. Wasn't me. Dr. Benjamin Spock, whose child care guidance spanned half a century, died in San Diego at 94. Yeah, Spock, that was some of the worst advice any psychologist ever gave. Okay, don't spank the children, all that stuff. Yeah, look what we got now. In 2005, on this day, former World Cup chief Bernard Evers was convicted in New York for engineering the largest corporate fraud in U.S. history. He was later sentenced to 25 years in prison. And 14 years ago, a chorus of outrage on Capitol Hill greeted news and some $5 million in executive bonuses the day were being paid by bailed out insurance AIG. The Space Shuttle Discovery was launched for a mission to the International Space Station that had been delayed 5 times. Again, I'm figuring out why we keep going up there. We don't bring nothing back. So, I don't think it's anything back. But I will say one thing. I think we come up with a lot of inventions because of it, but anything that big rock up there and bringing them to that. I don't know. Oh well, that's it for the first item. We shall return Uno Momento. Left behind Vietnam veterans 50 years ago. We called it quit.
This March.
You ain't have to one of my favorite people. No, what not to this. I know they're weak, what they're right about. It's up there. We got our own seasons here. He was the ruler of the world.
Hey, now if you look at that, that was when you had a political system with a Senate
67.
Traveling via
Feel the
Montgomery via Maxwell Air Force Base today.
Because they were supposed to bring a dictatorship. Remember?
North Vietnam.
That was the First World War.
5, and there will be a ceremony at 10 a.m.
What you have there, man? Where you get that from?
I'm Jazz and
The
Williams.
great Amazon.
Oh, you got it on Amazon?
News Radio
I like that one.
1440 is WLWI-AM and
Cool style there. Cool
95.1
casual.
HD3 FM.
Fits you very well. You're cool.
This is the CBS World News Roundup,
Oh, my buddy
sponsored
told me
by
they saw
Liberty
you.
Mutual Insurance.
Oh, yeah, some of it. Where was that the other day? At the
Severe
fish
weather
place.
here
Yeah,
on
the
both
fish place,
coasts is
yeah,
impacting millions of people
That's
today,
what
and hundreds
it
of
said.
thousands without power in California and in the Northeast. CBS's Daniel
There's a
Backer
group of
says
them that
in
listen to you.
Ventura, California, with more.
When you-
Relentless rains,
He let me know, don't
pounded
tell me
snow,
listen
and
when you
Central
do. Well,
California
I
flooded
told them
roads in Ventura,
That's what
Northwest
you heard.
Los
Okay.
Angeles.
Well,
Texas,
well, there's a group
forced
of them that do.
evacuations in San Luis Obispo
They're
County.
riding.
All you guys narcissistic.
About 100 people were trapped
They,
when
I
floodwaters
know you got
washed
to
over
work with
roads
Alabama.
and
I know you
bridges in
gotta get
Tulare
jobs.
County.
That's the group of us that deal. That's what I tell you something about this question.
In Vermont, fallen
So you
trees
met
are lining streets
one
throughout
or
the
two.
state, bringing down power lines. Newfane Fire Department Chief Todd Lawler says even the fire station is without power and is now using a generator.
It runs the whole station, so
Sounds like I
if
had
we
a-
need to take people in, get them warm, or get them food or whatever, we can with that.
A Russian fighter jet has collided with a large U.S. surveillance
You know,
drone over the
transport,
Black
that
Sea.
big can
This
that you see
rare
on
but
the
serious
telegram pole.
clash has
You
triggered
ever
a U.S.
noticed it?
diplomatic protest. Former
Talking
U.S.
to you.
ambassador to Russia, John
Where
Sullivan,
you
had
looking?
this take on the incident.
This is just a sign of
Where you
Russia's
looking? Are you looking?
aggressiveness and lawlessness.
You
Officials say the
something.
drone, which went
No,
down in the
why-
Black Sea, may never be recovered.
While we were
There's a high-stakes hearing in Texas
flying over
today
the
on
Black
whether to
Sea.
ban a common abortion pill
a
nationwide.
Russian
CBS's
plane
Deborah
ran into
Rodriguez
a
has the
drone.
story.
in the
U.S.
United
District
States.
Judge Matthew
That's
Kaczmarek is
running
considering a
drones over there.
lawsuit
How
from
you can't
Christian
see a big old
conservatives to
drone when you're in an
overturn
airplane?
the FDA's
How you
approval of
Number one,
mifepristone, the pill
drones
most commonly
probably didn't
used
show
to
up on the
terminate
radar.
pregnancies in the U.S.
So
The
they're small.
argument, safety studies leading up
They're
to
so
the
small.
20-year-old decision weren't sufficient.
probably
The
didn't show up
FDA
on his
expanded
radar until he
access
got
to
up
the
on
pill in January, allowing pharmacies to
drones,
sell it in person and by mail. The
in the
judge
Black
can
Sea, that's
rule at
neutral
any
territory.
time after the hearing
Yeah,
and potentially
so
cut
both
off
of us can beat
access to mifepristone,
But it's
even
where
in
you are.
states where abortion
It's
is
according to
legal.
the height
Deborah
that that
Rodriguez,
drone
CBS
was going
News.
and the
The
plane
Food
was
and
going.
Drug Administration has
And he
suspended
didn't expect that
emergency
to be in
use
his airplane
authorization of the
problem.
Pfizer
because
bivalent COVID-19 shot.
You know,
It
you
is
don't
for
have to know
children
that.
between the age of 6 months through 4 years who have completed their initial 3-dose vaccination with Pfizer's original shot. The shots for the youngest children in the U.S. were only approved in June of last year. The tech startup OpenAI unveils the latest version of its artificial intelligence software. Here's the BBC's Zoe Kleinman.
The new version, GPT-4, can respond to images, draft emails, and summarize text. In a demo, it answered a complicated tax query, although the answer did not get verified.
The new version will initially be available to people who pay a premium subscription. This is CBS News.
Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-711-6818 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. 800-711-6818.
What do you mean you went searching for fresher powder? We have full classes today.
Instructor down at Vesper Ski School.
Support each other to snowplow, honey, not a blade.
She needs more ski instructors to slalom through the day-to-day.
Pizza, fries. No, really, no. Pizza, pizza.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get
What was
$75
going on with
towards
the
your first sponsored job.
doctor
Terms and
from
conditions
the
apply.
Veteran Service? He's did you all
Bird
set
flu
up a
is taking
schedule
its toll
for
on a popular McDonald's menu item in Japan.
Japan's worst bird flu outbreak, which has led to the culling of nearly
Yeah,
14 million hens. As
I was over
the
there
menu
the
of
last couple
McDonald's
days. I've
Japan.
been over there, dog.
Its popular springtime-only Teritama burger, which
So they
includes
called me
a
today because he's
teriyaki
going to be out at
sauce, is
Maxwell.
being taken off menus across Japan just days
With
after
this
the
Vietnam
school's
veterans
launch.
thing today.
The Terrytown burgers, which sell for the equivalent of around $3.35, have been a seasonal favourite in Japan since they were launched back in 1996. Gavin Blair for CBS News.
A Southern California company and 3 of its managers are being sued over COVID-19 related deaths at one of its facilities 3 years ago. The suit alleges Silverado Senior Living Management failed to follow appropriate safety procedures when admitting a new resident to its Beverly Place facility in Los Angeles. The lawsuit said the resident later tested positive for COVID, and an outbreak at the facility led to the deaths of 14 people. Linda Kenyon, CBS News.
Trustworthy, consistent, reliable, the best at what they do. This is what customers are saying about Janny King, the king of clean. From office buildings to schools, healthcare facilities, and stadiums, our local franchise owners provide the same quality clean at every level. Let us put our 35 years of experience to work for you. Go to JannyKingCleans.com now. That's JANIKING Cleans.com. Franchise opportunities also available at JannyKingCleans.com.
The children's music and dance teacher couldn't track that. I was always on my feet. It was just so painful. Elisa couldn't let her students down. So she stepped up and went to the Good Feet store for personally fitted arch supports. I would work an entire day and my feet didn't hurt at the end of the day. That was when I knew, wow, these are different. But the really good part is going to be dancing together again. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Find your local Good Feet store in Montgomery at 7341 East Chase Parkway.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible. It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently. Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app? Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas. And does that actually add up to anything? I paid around $200. Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code VEST for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or any gift card from Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code VEST for 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code VEST for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill up.
Hey, this is Jody.
Hey, Cody from the Pricing Outlet at American Engine. We have a huge problem.
We have more inventory than the new warehouse will hold.
And we must dump some inventory at up to 70% off.
This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 3 big days. We're having a huge warehouse inventory relinquished at sale.
Now bring the decision maker, tape measure, and trailers. These items won't last long at these low prices.
Check it out on Facebook or on our website.
Don't miss the biggest furniture sell-off the River Region has ever seen. Rossi Furniture at American Oak Mall.
At American Oak, we've overfilled our warehouse. We have a huge problem. There is more inventory than the newly built warehouse can hold, so we must dump some inventory at up to 70% off.
You're singing there. You're
3 big days. We're having a huge warehouse
humming.
relinquishment sale. Bring the decision,
Yeah.
tape measure, and a trailer. These items won't last long at these low prices. Check it out on Facebook or by. Miss the biggest furniture sale the River Region has ever seen.
He's the voice of the conservative millennial.
Ben Shapiro.
The Ben Shapiro Show. Tonight at 8 p.m. on Radio 1440. And on Facebook. Personal.
Which one was that? Which one there? Relation. Your relation. Yeah, I didn't. That don't matter.
No, I was just saying.
Because well, you're stretching it out. Like, proud of it. I haven't said anything about it.
No. Okay. Well, I know it. Well,
up to you.
never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We'll go through it. Go through it. See? Talk too much.
Yeah, okay. Okay, all right. The music of today is brought to you by the 60s and the 70s, like the Vietnam War and all that stuff. Because today this celebration, well, commemoration. I don't know if you can celebrate war, but if you want the actual day, they're gonna have a replica of the Vietnam Wall up in up on Maxwell Air Force Base today. So if you want to get up there and check it out, and think if you have relatives that passed in that war, you'll probably find their name on that replica out there. I do miss going in the military. But I missed it. That was only 74. Why don't you just go volunteer?
More than likely at that time.
Yeah. But, probably so. Nobody does. Now I must admit I have changed my mind on Ali about that. Because if his
He's a conscientious.
right, but I'm trying to figure out what was the objection for? Was the objection for doing something else or actually killing people? Because you could kill people in the ring. Right. Right. But
he didn't believe in fighting.
Wait, he didn't believe in fighting. I mean, he just didn't believe in fighting war.
Killing.
But you can kill people in the ring.
No, that's not.
That's not the object of it, but you can't. Yeah, yeah. But
And that
anyway,
was for religious reasons. And Congress did agree with him. It took an act of Congress to do it, you know. So he was exonerated.
Yeah. But I still say beat the man the hell out of the man in a ring.
That's not. Boxing, wrestling is a skill. I mean, real wrestling. Boxing is a skill.
But you still can get hurt. You still can harm somebody.
You get hurt in football.
Exactly.
More people get hurt in football than in football.
Yeah, well, there's more people playing football.
Well, that's what I said. There's more people doing
Yeah.
People get hurt.
But however, at first I was against it. Then I said to myself, well, the Tuskegee Airmen went to war for America and came back, still get treated like crap.
Yeah.
So, but again, because they went, it opened up the doors for many people to join, and the
many people are always there anyway.
Yeah.
Because the positions that people have, they couldn't be airmen.
Yeah.
They could only do the job.
Well, that's true. I mean, and the Navy was the same problem. The Navy was the same way.
All of the services.
Yeah.
As when I got the last time of the service, was the Marine.
Oh well, so much for that. Yeah. But also, I often wonder how come. Okay. Well. Okay, I just got a note from one of our representatives. I sent her a text the other day, and they finally responded to it. I don't know. I'm working that out now. I think they're still in special session right now for the ARPA money. I've never seen people. For years, we complained about how much money we didn't have. We couldn't do this. We couldn't do that. We couldn't do that. The city of Montgomery, the state of Alabama, now we got more money than we've ever had. Now people still trying to figure out what to do with it. It is an amazing thing to me that leadership, all the things they told us they couldn't do in Montgomery, by the time Montgomery and the county of Montgomery is doing some of this ARPA money, levitate and won't have most of it. Okay, they're getting $42,000 a month of that money. I think we have 14 people, city and county, ministry, people, representatives, and the only thing we can figure out to spend money on right now, they did say they allocated money for mental health and for the sheriff department to get cameras, body cams, whatever the case may be. But allocation and actually getting it done, it's a whole different ballgame. I just can't figure how 14 people, they're not saying we're going to spend it here.
That's the problem. If I gave you $1 million right now, you would know it. You would know how to blow it. You would know what actually.
Yeah, I'll blow some, but I'm going to make sure. No, I'm going to take care of
the
essential.
Here's a good example. The majority of the people who make a lottery,
they're not broke.
That's because they're not accustomed to it. The majority of players in the NFL end up being broke. The majority of players
because they just went
that's because poor people do not know how to handle large sums of money. Yeah, you can't. First thing you would do is probably buy an expensive car.
Nope.
You buy a house you really shouldn't be in. Because you don't know how to take care
of it.
And you would buy expensive clothes.
Wouldn't do that.
What would you do?
The first thing I do is make sure that my child's college education is paid for upfront. That's the first thing I do. Second thing I do, make sure I got a house that's paid for. Don't need no mansion. Just need a house that's comfortable, look good. I don't need a Wind Lake mansion, all that junk out there. Give me a nice house, put an extra room on it just in case the boy ever has to come back home. I would buy me a Tahoe. Yeah, well, you would buy it. Yeah, I would. Right, I would buy a Tahoe because that's what I want. But yeah, and then the rest, I live off the interest. Long as I got a place to stay. Oh yeah, and I pick up my light bill, my gas bill, and my utility bill for a couple of years ahead of time.
You don't have to do that. You can't pay it ahead of time because you don't know what it'll be.
Well,
so all you do is just have it deducted out of it.
Yeah. But you see, I got my priorities right just in case I hit the line.
You buy a bunch of computers that you make.
No.
You get a 200-inch screen TV.
Now that I'd probably get. Yeah, that I'd put on the wall for football season. Yeah, that I'd put. And I don't even like watching the whole game of football. I like watching the football from the second half on. I don't watch the whole game, but I do get me a 70 or 80 inches. Yeah.
But that's an interesting discussion. I know what I'm saying. Honestly, most poor people do not know how to have money.
That's true.
And then when you give them a lot of money, they will money.
And I don't feel.
That's the honest truth.
But money is about subtraction and division. I mean, it just I don't understand how you. One lady in the book won $188 million, spent $6 million on a dope head.
My fellow, that keeps coming up.
Yeah, I said,
well, that's
why?
Look,
it's ignorance.
What do you call a fool with $1 million?
A fool with $1 million.
Okay.
That's what you call it. A fool with $1 million. I'm trying to figure out how you do it. You didn't go anywhere.
I was not interested. I told you, Kevin, I was not interested in doing that time. Look, when I finished school in 1970, remember, we're still between our system. I went to the
maybe down here. Everywhere else in America.
And well, we had members of my class who went in the military. They went as officers. Very few of people died.
That don't mean no difference you officer or not what you.
Seeing that from a grunt. You think it's the same being a private as
the service? The duties are different, but you're still so it doesn't make any difference.
You've never been an officer, so you don't know.
I mean, I am an officer.
Enlisted.
I'm a non-commissioned officer, but I'm still an officer. Okay, let's get that straight. Okay.
So it's a difference.
Politically, yes.
Right.
But practically, no. Good morning. Who's this? Okay, if you say so. Is that it, Ed? Okay. All right. You have listen. You have a right. You have a right to want to hear anything you want to hear. I'm good with that. It's America. You have a right to hear what you want to hear. All right then. Okay. Oh, okay. 860-1440 number again. Maxwell Air Force Base is to honor former Vietnam POWs today at 8 o'clock this morning. And Vietnam Veterans Day, it's a welcome home after 50 years. It was on, I think, somewhere around this day in 1973 that April 1st, 1973, following the signing of the Paris Peace Accord, Operation Homecoming saw the return of 591 prisoners of war in America on March 15th to April the 1st, following the signing of that accord. Maxwell is one of 10 Air Force bases selected for repatriation sites. 43 POWs were reunited with their families at Maxwell at the tarmac. As part of the Operation Welcome Home, the Traveling Vietnam War Memorial will be on Maxwell. That's today. The public will have access to Maxwell Air Force Base to pay tribute to that wall and the sacrifices the Vietnam veterans made in service for their country. The base will open at 8 o'clock and stay open until 5 p.m. People need to register though, and before you go on base. And just a word of wisdom for the folks who go out there. Anything you do stupidly on a military base, the consequences are double than the state or the city. So if you're going to go out to our base, be respectful. It is not the street, okay? It's not Hoodville. So when you go out there, don't be trying to do willy something because you will find yourself in a world of hurt. And then security also out there, do not play. So if you're gonna go out there, that's fine, but just act like my mom used to say, act like you have some training at home. Okay, I'm just saying, young folks today seem to forget those kinds of things. So anything you do on base is the consequences and the penalties are triple than what they would be out here. So just mind your manners, be nice, be respectful, and you don't have any problems going out on base at all. We'll let you know. All right. Anyway, 860-1440 number. You want to give us a call? We love to talk to you. Whatever on your mind this morning. It is the commemoration of the Vietnam POWs and Vietnam soldiers that came home 50 years ago. So go out there and talk to them and honor their service to this nation. Everybody's always saying, we did service. I would like someone do, but some don't have a clue. Anyway, gotta take a break. We'll come back. All the music of the day from the 1960s and the 1970s during that Vietnam era. Yeah. Yeah, this is the year of our 50th class review. I'll get over. Oh, how you feel? All right, we need to progress. Yeah. You want 55? Yeah. 55. Good year for something. On March 7th. They're gonna have a driving license and insurance. Yeah, they'll find that out. But anybody going out there with the experience,
And most of the people going on base are only see people. Yeah, you don't just, the base is not just somewhere.
Yeah, leave all weapons at home. Yeah, if you want to get back home, then you might want to do that.
I don't think we that was
I tell
what
you,
you just mentioned. That didn't go for because the guys who do the donuts, they're not going because they already know that there are rules and regulations on this. The first thing you got to do, you got to go through that security check.
Yeah.
They don't want that, so they're not going to go.
No, that makes true. Yeah.
Because they know that they're going to check your license. And a lot of them don't have it.
Like a security.
So they don't have it. They're not going to go. They'll be stupid to go on there.
And 50 years ago, the long time.
Well, they don't know anything.
Right. They don't know anything about it.
No, they can be.
Just in case we caught one, you're not thought about doing that.
No.
A lot of people want to know what's on the military base.
They don't know that. They know what's on the. That's all they need to know. If you're playing every day, everybody knows you're playing them. You see them all the time. That's an interesting.
Just in case I caught one, get it out there.
Not gonna happen.
Yes.
That's like saying they're visiting the police station.
Well, hey.
Same thing. Just walk right into it. Not gonna get very far, but everything automated. Well, I had to get you go there, you have to have a credit.
I was trying when I first got here. I went to Farmers Insurance to get insurance for my car, and the guy said, "We need to check your credit." I said, "What do you check my credit for?" Because I paid the bill or I don't. And credit checks is to keep you out of something, not to get you in.
The purpose of insurance is to make money. It's not to get you insured.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean that's any business. Yeah,
it's a business. They're not concerned with you got insurance. They're concerned with getting paid.
Yeah, but insurance wasn't if you don't pay, you cancel. So what did it out there?
That's why most of them have that auto pay.
I ain't giving nobody else auto pay tonight. I did that, and I was in that.
It's hard to get the money back.
Exactly. 10 years I was paying for something I hadn't used in 10 years, and I didn't know. That's probably having a business account. Having a business account is bad because you just use the paying stuff, and all of a sudden it comes out. I ain't never doing that no more. That's right. Our background today is music of the 60s and 70s during the Vietnam War. Vietnam. All I remember about Vietnam, we said. Now, here's my one experience because of Vietnam. Okay, I'm not going to lie and say I was over there. I was too young. But here's my one experience. When I was in the National Guard in Georgia, I had a guy who had just, and this is 1975 or somewhere around there, right, during the reserve first. And the guy chased me around the motor pool with a live 45, with a live round in it, thinking I was VC. I was scared as hell. I said, he's gonna, well, he thought he was having, and at the time, we didn't call it PTSD. We just thought he was crazy. A little bit nuts.
We call it shell shock.
Yeah, whatever it was. But I know that son was gonna chase me around the motor pool. So thank God all those folks in there who was his friends, and they stopped. I guess Vietnamese people were kind of short back in the day. I don't really know. Anyway, good morning. Who's this? Good morning, Mr. Vietnam veteran. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. How old were you when you? How old were you when you went to Vietnam? 3 years old. And what is? Mhm. Mm-hmm. Bring him back alive. I heard this song. Yeah. Yeah. That and Edwin Starr was very popular at the time. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. You gotta ask Westmore. You gotta ask Westmoreland that one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had posters up. Right. Yeah, they did have them. Appreciate it. Good morning, who's this? Good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and I think it's going on to about 5, starts at 10. I think it's 10 to 5 today. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Great. Appreciate it, Commissioner. After the break, we'll come back. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they tried to ban that song.
Sponsored by Indeed.com.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I've heard it.
Really? Yeah. Well, see, I lived it like that, and Edwin Starr.
Oh.
Good.
Good God, yo. Yeah. Yeah, you remember some of it. Yeah, you didn't hear Frida Payne? Oh, that was real popular. She was a beautiful woman. Had pinup.
She picture of the girl.
Hmm?
Find a picture of the girl.
Sunshine again tomorrow, but how about low 70s? Make that a little breezy in the afternoon, and widespread rain and perhaps a few thunderstorms.
Street Payne and Cleopatra Jones,
Meteorologist Tyler
who was
News Radio 1440.
actually Sam Greer.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Sons
Street Payne, Sam Greer,
Family driven.
Jane Kennedy.
Oh yeah, and Pam Grier put on some weight. She was fine, man.
Well, it's hereditary.
Her and what's that made these movies recently? A few years ago. Her and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
She got fat.
Oh, Pam Grier. She was Cleopatra Jones.
Yeah. And coffee.
Coffee. Yes.
It's fine.
Oh,
Make
yeah.
your brother spend $1 or $2 go to them movies.
Yes.
I just couldn't sleep because of stress, and it felt like my entire life was falling apart, and nothing would get worse. Debt was destroying my life.
If you have over $10,000 in credit card debt and feel overwhelmed, we're ready to help. We're credit associates, and we help tens of thousands of people. Good, hard-working, freedom-loving folks who need assistance getting out from under crushing debt. Credit Associates Debt Relief Program can allow you to reduce your total credit card debt by up to half and become debt-free in a fraction of the time.
Credit associates are so incredible and very respectful. They're really understood. I wish I had called it sooner.
Stop losing sleep because of debt. Call 800-833-7563. That's 800-833-7563 to find out how Credit Associates can help cut your debt by up to half. Call 800-833-7563. That's 800-833-7563.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible. It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently. Prices at the pump are up, but I never paid full price for gas before. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. Wait a minute, are you saying you actually actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I made around $200.
Wow, that's extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BEST for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BEST for a 25 cash back on your first fill up.
One search engine is used by 9 out of 10 consumers. Hint, the name begins with a G. There are hundreds of things that go into being ranked highly by that engine. Your website, your business profile, even your social accounts. A couple of slip-ups and you find yourself on page 7. But at Cumulus Boost, we have the experts and resources to fix what's wrong and boost your findability so you can rank higher than your competition. Get started today at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS boost.com.
Spring is here. New business got a whole lot longer. Whether you're working on your lawn, at the camp, or on the farm, do more and save more with John Deere equipment from SunSouth, including zero.
And I went out to get a passport yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I ain't going nowhere because I ain't leaving this country. Forget, they got to pay me to leave.
Oh, okay.
But
Where
I
you
go,
went to the post office?
yeah, I go to the post office and they need my birth certificate. I said, wait a minute. I got a DD Form 214, military ID, a current driver's license. You need a birth certificate at 65 years old?
Fast on the draw. It's Mark Levin.
I said, hell, this. And I had to pay him.
On News Radio 1340.
There you go. Military man not used to rules.
All righty then. If you had a relative or somebody to if you lost a loved one in the Vietnam War, Maxwell Air Force Day is commemorating that. March 15th to April 1st, April 1, 1973. We brought some of those guys home. Maxwell Air Force Base is one of the embarkation bases in America where they landed and touched down on the land of the free, the brave, and the home of the free and the brave. So you might want to go out there. You can go now. You got to get registered to go on base. When you go out there, look at that wall. You can see the names of some people on that wall. Okay. The reason what makes Vietnam such a interesting thing is Vietnam was never considered a war. It had all the metrics of war, but they never called it war. Why is that? I'm gonna tell you from the 860-1440 is the number here. If you want to come out and talk to us. Good morning. Who's that? Not come out and talk to the door. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh yeah. 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 Well, now he was telling the truth. It's more dangerous. You got a greater chance of getting shot in America than you do over there. So he was telling the truth. I mean, you know. Yeah, yeah. Now, how long does the president of Mexico think we'll let him stay home? Right. Mm. Oh well, he must be. Yeah, he must be related to Obama a long way because Obama said we. Wait, no, wait a minute. Obama's the one that said I ain't talking about the fentanyl, brother. He talking about Obama talking you can keep on your thing till they 26 years old. I mean, 26, you have a 50. Yeah. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. They wanted to be squeezed on because he had money. Come on now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. What you pull up? No, I got you. And I got you. But let me tell you something. You know, white males. But now, yeah, what you bring it down to? Yeah. Who? Who people? What people? Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I like another analogy. White folks kill everybody in one day. Black folks kill somebody every day. Yeah, yeah. Still dead. Yeah, we still dead. Yeah, yeah. Hey, the book of Tale of Two Cities. A book of Tale of Two Cities says it, that I am part of the whole. And anything that happens to the whole happens to me. Right. Okay. Appreciate it. All right. Do that. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning, First Sergeant.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 You know, and listen, call it television or whatever you want to call it. I am concerned when I see old people with no place to go when Russia bombed civilian apartments. That bothers me. And I would tell you that I thought about it, and you know, I wouldn't go with it by myself, but I would go with an organized army. Our job as Americans. Yes, 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 I do. Well, political answers are political answers until you actually have to implement the policy. And I don't know how we as Americans, no, 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 I don't believe it.
Well, I think I agree with Kevin. What you're listening to, they will disagree with anything that Joe Biden does. Whatever his decision on anything, they will say they will do the opposite. That's all that is. But in reality, I think most of us know that the Putin is now trying to reunite the Soviet Union. We thought he was going in that direction because when Donald Trump was in office, let's be truthful about it, he brought a lot of dysfunction within NATO. And then after he was out of office, then NATO. What I'm saying is, Putin saw that as a sign he thought NATO was falling apart, but it wasn't. When Biden got back into office as president, they went ahead and rejoined all of the things that they had going before Donald Trump was running. So that's just factual. And let's not.
But Donald Trump did say,
no, you trying to. No, that's not the issue. What we're talking about is our relationship with our allies. And he thought that our relationship with our allies was fractured.
And we shouldn't pay for our allies' defense.
What we're talking about now. And the struggle with Ukraine is we and our allies are working together so that the Soviet Union will not even go back to it. And this is a very dirty war too. Because look at the bottom of it. They take prisoners and tell them, you go out there and fight. You either die or go. You're not going back to prison. You're gonna die. And that's where they're zombies, man.
Yeah.
And you know a good thing. And if you look at the reports from Al Jazeera, they're going out there and they just go out knowing they're either going to die, and that's it. They have no other choice.
Yeah.
Well, what's happening now? Let me say this: Biden is the president of the United States, which means he is the commander in chief. They are working with the commander in chief. When you're the commander in chief, it's different.
Yeah. But again, though, President Trump was right. They need to pay for something.
Hold on.
No. It's all about money. It's about money, though. And we shouldn't pay for the upkeep of NATO. 90% of the money comes from us. And I agree with him. They got money. Pay for their own support. Pay for their own defense. Contribute more for their own defense. Come on, who's this? Pretty good. Okay. But here's the difference. Here's the difference. Here's the difference. Here's the difference. Yes, there's a difference. We don't know in our Africa too often. We don't know who to fight. Yeah. We know that the Putin has invaded Ukraine. We know that. A sovereign nation. It's because we don't know who the hell in charge in Africa. Okay. If when Boko Haram started going through African villages, taking girls and killing girls and taking them from the family and killing the boys, yeah, I was ready to go over there too. The problem is we don't know who the hell to fight. We confused.
Caller, you're talking about apples and oranges. What we're talking about is the Soviet Union. Are you familiar? Do you remember the Soviet Union, sir? Let me ask you this. Do you remember the Soviet Union?
Wait a minute. There's nothing stopping you from going over there protecting them.
Right. Well,
yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about two different things. Two different things. We're talking about Europe being overtaken by the Soviet Union.
Listen, I gotta go to another. I gotta go into another call. We can have a philosophical difference here. That's fine. Oh, yeah. Good morning. Who's this? Pretty good.
Good morning, sir.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. And what is your point? But it's not a very small nation, sir. It's one of the largest land masses in Europe. Not a small country. That's incorrect. That's an incorrect statement there. It's a very large country. But what matters is the size of the country. That's what they want. They want the land with all of the valuable materials there, which would make the Soviet Union then more powerful than the United States with all of those amenities. Go ahead. But they are very important. So, and you like to look up things on the internet. Look at how much resources are in Ukraine and how important it's the resources in Ukraine. The grain, the oil, the uranium, the titanium, all of those are important.
Okay. Well, I gotta go to break. Our hour's up. So all right. We'll be back.
I am particularly this more about the land mass of Ukraine and the farmland, the minerals, the oil,
All I know is,
and its access to the shipping.
I mean, I don't care nothing about those materials and all that. I care about the old folks that blew out of their homes right now.
But that's why they're being blown up.
Yeah.
They're being blown up because the Soviet Union, Putin wants to rejoin. Because once he gets Ukraine, that means he can get Romania, Kazakhstan, Georgia, all those countries around there will once again be a part of the Soviet Union because you've knocked out the biggest landmass that keeps you from being able to do it. And Turkey. Turkey's nervous. Yeah, that's the whole purpose of Ukraine. It's not the army. And Putin is trying to discourage people by doing what you're saying. Kill the old people. Kill all those. He's killing civilians. He's not killing soldiers.
Right.
He's killing civilians. This is a horrible war here. He should go down to the war front. Yeah. These are non-combatants. He's killing intentionally. Well, you know what? They're fighting something. They are fighting something. And it doesn't matter. The things we're giving them is totally different. We know exactly who they're giving them. We're training them to fight that. That's why it's possible. Well, we did, but it's better that they are doing it. And they're doing a good job.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to get over here. I think
if we give them all of the ability, it's such a large land that Russia doesn't have to. Russia's over 100,000 soldiers. You know, they're not getting the big so as Israelis say, it's about 100,000. And what they call prison, they go into prison, let everybody out of the prison, give them a gun and say, go out there. If you come back in 6 months, we'll give you the freedom. Now that's what they're fighting.
As an atmospheric river in California, causing pretty much what you might expect. Winter downpours, Maria Silvadino is in Birmingham.
We basically did not sleep all last night, knowing that there was going to be heavy rain all night. And so every evening we were waking up, my husband would go and check the hallway to see if it was snowing.
The next figures on retail sales are not the Commerce Department with sales at 0.4% in February of inflation. The economy follows a spending burst in January. Some automakers tough to move on in the 2017 2020 scheme of bidding, and the 2018 and 2019 guitarist Brian May has just been moved by King Charles. Nancy Barker in London. Less than a year after the famous skit involving Queen Elizabeth and famous Queen, the guitarist Brian May walked back into Buckingham Palace this morning.
Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your private insurance so you only pay for what you need. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender information to look at pages of your search results. Also, access the top, allowing you to put your best foot forward. Your feedback yourself.
For the first time in more than a decade, Nancy got away in college sports leaders so they're considering expanding madness between them to generate food and revenue. And a very special pair of slippers, the most expensive ever sold.
Chicago with the lead! After Michael Jordan sank that final free throw of Game 2 of the 1998 NBA Finals,
The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
he took off his red and black Air Jordan 13s in the locker room, signed each one, and handed them to a ball boy. Now those sneakers are going up for auction at Sotheby's April 3rd. They're expected to sell for as much as $4 million. That's more than the estimated $2 million for a pair of Air Jordans made of solid 24-karat gold. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
CBS News.
Get NordVPN. With a few simple clicks, access to delicious meals. With NordVPN, enjoy internet that you choose without leaving the website. NordVPN.com.
Where are you at 50 years?
Special challenges and with alligators.
A few years back, so. Trying to get younger.
I remember that. Boy, those were the days. Not a care in the world. I had my 68 Chevelle with that tracks on. 327. I was having a time with my life. Not a care in the world.
Yeah, but you were 17.
I was 18.
18?
15, I'm 68.
Okay, so I was 8. I was
18.
I was 15.
That was the year, I know what the year, that was the year 1973 was the year I graduated from high school.
Yeah, you are old.
50th anniversary of our walking across that line. You know something I never did change? They're on my feet, right? That's the only tennis shoe I've ever worn.
Because back in the day, if you wore those Converse, right?
Yeah.
If you wore those, you know, we didn't have the money for that. I had to wear Kmart special.
Look, I worked for them.
Okay.
I paid for them. I bought them.
I wore Kmart
So
special.
Hey, you make an excuse for everything.
No,
If I wanted the first pair of Chuck Taylor I bought, it was a McKean Wilson white low top for $7.50. Okay, I bought them myself.
I had Kmart special, bro.
They weren't for $7.50.
Kmart special, and you know what the problem with Kmart special tennis shoes is that they were made on the plastic bottom of them, and when you went up to do a rebound or you went up, you just kept on going.
Hey, all of us wore because look, if we had to cut yards, with that real more.
But we
had a mower that was a real. Didn't have a motor on.
Yeah, we didn't. I was the motor. We were the motor.
No, we didn't have a motor.
No, but we were the motor.
Oh, you were the motor.
You were the motor too.
Grass. Motor along with St. Augustine and the yard was small. Well, I had one sister. Okay. And growing up, I had two.
Okay. So there were 8 of us.
And actually, I actually get the grandmother, but we still during the summers I was around.
8 of us, brother. We didn't have all that.
No, we had whatever we wanted because we bought it.
Yeah, I got you.
We learned how to work at an early age. When I was working in my grandmother had a store, and when I was 7 years old, I was working in a store. Okay. I wasn't working. I can't remember when I wasn't working.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, see, that's
working at McDonald's.
Well, I never did that.
Yeah. Well, I worked 1 year.
The first restaurant I worked at. Yeah.
There was 8 of us, and having to put coal in the fridge, having to put coal in the furnace.
I don't know anything about that.
I know you don't.
No, we had electric. Not electric. We had gas. I
was from the coal side of town.
Because it had a power.
Yeah, I was about
All you
that.
had to do, you know, the day like the stove on the oven. All you had to do was do it turn.
Well, I'll for the post at the time now. Yeah. You got here living a life of black
No,
luxury.
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. That's most of us live like that.
It was 50 years ago out on Maxwell Air Force Base when members of the armed forces who were prisoners of war, at the 591, landed in Maxwell Air Force Base. Today, we commemorate that on Maxwell Air Force Base. So if you want to go out there, if you have friends or you've heard of friends who have friends, they got a replica of the Vietnam era wall out there with all the names of the 58,000 people who died because of that war. One thing about it, though, to this day, we still haven't called it a war because I guess the politicians at the time, in order for a war to be a war, you have to, Congress has to declare. Congress never did. Never did. Right. It says by every metric, the Vietnam War was, in the common sense of the word, a war. The United States committed 550,000 troops to Vietnam in front of the height of the conflict, suffered more than 58,000 casualties, engaged in battle after battle after battle, with communist forces of the region until they withdrew in 1973. That's some 50 years ago. However, from a constitutional perspective, this conflict did not technically count as a war. The U.S. Constitution grants Congress sole authority to issue declarations of war. Since 1941, Congress has only declared war 6 times, all during World War II. Congress authorized troop deployments in Vietnam, but because it did not issue a declaration of war on North Vietnam or the Viet Cong, the Vietnam War is, technically speaking, not considered a war in the United States. So who won it? Well, I'd say I'd make a guess that we didn't win. All the intents and purposes, we walked out. But then again, it wasn't a war. So it's like
Korean.
Right. But if you come
Korean.
Yeah, but if you go to Air Force Base like I used to and watch tactics come in, yeah, it was a war. It is that commemoration which Maxwell is engaged in this day. Anyway, 860-1440 is the number you want to call. Good morning, who's this? Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm not going to get into an argument with you, sir, because I know whatever I say, you will say the opposite. It doesn't. Sir, that is really not the conversation that I really want to get into with you about, because whatever I say, you will find something negative. Okay, go ahead. How are they funded? How are they funded? Okay, how are they funded? Okay. I don't know. Now you say. I just said I don't know. Go ahead and tell me. My conversation, sir, what my conversation with the other gentleman was not about the funding of NATO. It was about support for the Ukraine. That is changing the subject. Okay. Yes, he did. He brought conflict in NATO between the relationships. I'm talking about relationships. I'm not talking about money. Okay. Let me ask you this. This is my whole issue. Do you think that under Donald John Trump, we had a good relationship with our allies?
I think we did.
I'm asking him. Did we? So you think we had a good relationship because of Donald Trump? Okay, so that's your perspective.
I do too.
Okay, so I'm giving you my perspective. Okay. Perspective is point of view. That is my point of view. You talking doesn't change that, and my talking doesn't change yours. Sir, sir, here's what I'm saying. You are deflecting. The subject was Ukraine. It was not Crimea or Obama. We were talking about Ron DeSantis. Well, let me ask you this. So do you agree or disagree with Ron DeSantis and Donald John Trump on their position on Ukraine? That is the question. Okay, good. Well, that's it. And I disagree. And I disagree. So we look, so here's what we will do. We will agree to disagree. I am not going to call you any names because you disagree with me. I merely disagree with you. And if you choose to call me names, that is your choice. So that is the subject.
Well, y'all can disagree, so let me go to the next call.
So we just disagree. Who's the
I hear you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
There you go.
Whosoever heard you. That's very many people. Anyway, 860-1440 is the number we want to give us a call to talk to you, whatever on your mind. Again, Maxwell Air Force Base is having a welcome home commemoration today for the expatriates of Vietnam and prisoners of war. And they got the wall up there that represents 58,000 people that died in that war. You may go out there, you may see your family, remember your family's name on the 15,000 people almost touched every state in America, except maybe Delaware. They don't really fight. No, Delaware, the model is supposed to fight. Yeah, that was back in the day. Anyway, the model was supposed to fight. I think it was good. Yeah. Anyway, so okay, King Cake. I think it was Paul. Whenever Paul Revere did a run somewhere, was that New York? It was something on the East Coast. It was cold as hell. I was good morning. Who's this? Good morning.
Morning, sir. But let's change the discussion. Obama's not in office now.
Yeah.
The president of the United States is not Obama right now. We're talking about two guys running for president. Well, one of them may possibly be president. That is their.
Mm. Mm. Well, mine is the humanitarian, the humanitarian aspect of this thing. I can't tell Russian from Ukrainian, Kazakhstanian, but I do know when I see old people being bombed out of their home. I know that. So from a humanitarian standpoint, yeah, I think we ought to help them. Mm.
Well, it's the Soviet Union. Russia was part of the Soviet Union. That's the whole deal.
Yeah. Well, good luck, John. Appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this? How you doing? Fine.
No, sir. Well, how does a Democrat talk, sir? So I'm talking crazy? What did I say that was crazy, sir? Sir, what did I say that was crazy? Give me one statement that I said that was crazy. That's your opinion, your perspective. And I'm not going to argue with you if that is your point of view. I disagree with you. So that makes me crazy if I disagree with you. I'm not saying it makes you crazy because you disagree with me. That's what it is. It is merely your opinion, and I'm giving you my opinion. So if I give you my opinion, does it make me crazy? Well, to me, it doesn't, and that is my opinion. So you just gave your opinion.
Look like we got a standoff.
No, wait, it's not a standoff. That is his opinion.
That's his opinion.
Now, there are people who agree with you, and there are people who disagree with you, and the same for me. But I don't think they're crazy because they disagree with me. I do not think you are crazy, sir, because you disagree with me. Well, I disagree with that. I disagree with the violence. And what you said, sir, I do not condone that in any form or fashion. Does that make me crazy? Okay, but that's your opinion.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey, breathe. Yeah.
okay, okay, okay. And that is your opinion. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is your opinion.
Well, one thing we all three agree on, everybody's got a right to their own opinion. All right? Hey, all right. Yeah, yeah, that's true. All right. Hey, appreciate it. It is 8:22 in the morning. Let's take one more call and go to our first break. Good morning. Who's this? Yes.
That's their opinion, caller. And what you're going to give is your opinion. Is your opinion.
And his vice president, his former vice president, that's now the president, doing the same thing, yelling out people. Pretty much. Okay, well, okay. Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying, we pretty much we kind of in bad shape now, but I don't really care about the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. I really don't. Now, same coin, different side. It's just they all do.
It's a party.
Yeah, it's a party.
It is not a philosophy.
Right.
Neither one of them have a philosophy.
Not at the
They
moment.
just do whatever it is to get the popular vote, to get the money.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Bull,
politics.
bull tick. I like that. I like that. Okay, I'll use that from now. Bull tick. I got you. Yeah, appreciate that, Jeff. Okay then. 860-1440, 8:23 in the morning. Good morning. Who's this? Morning.
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you, sir?
Okay. Listen to Opinion
There,
Show.
there you go. That's what this show is. Well, in philosophy, that's dealing with the emotional side. Sometimes people deal from an emotional side in an argument. I don't do that. Now I'm dealing from the logical side. I deal from the logical side of an argument. Uh, I give you what I have as my information, you give me yours. But if you should come from an emotional side, you will start talking about things other than the subject that we were originally talking about. And that's all that is. That's called, in philosophy, that's called the pathos. That's the emotional side of an argument. It has nothing to do with the argument. It's just emotion. So I don't do that. If you notice, I don't do that. Right. Yes. Right. Yeah. And see that's the emotional side. See, I'm not talking from the emotional side, and that can seem uh really like I'm blowing other person off or whatever, but I'm not going down the same path they're going. I'm going from the Lago. That's the logical side of the equation. They, but then again, hopefully to those who understand, they're going on the ego. That is the the speaker, that's who I am. That means I have credibility. So they don't give me credibility. I know that the person I'm talking to is not looking at me as a person from the ethos side. They don't think I'm credible. And I already know that when I'm talking. So that's why I'm not going to be feel any emotion about it or get offended because I know where they're coming from. They're coming from a different place than I am. Yeah. I mean, I learn something every day, but when you're the smartest guy in the room, what is it for me to learn? Yeah. That's what my middle name is teacher. I'm the teacher. Anyway, we'll be back right after this message on this 50th anniversary of people coming home from Vietnam, the former prisoners of war, and things of that nature. How time flies. Time flies. You know about that. Thank God I know something about it. You fired up. That's good. Those were the days. Music, instruments. Oh, those were instruments. You can understand what they say. Oh, yeah. Oh man, I remember when I went to an Isaac Hayes concert, and they had to go to Birmingham with the Birmingham Symphony Orchestra, and he had to orchestrate them doing the concert. That was actually music, not a computer. Garrett Coliseum. I remember that. I think that was 1975. Was it 75? Well, it was either 74 or 73, one of the two.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Moody's, by the way, in a really harsh blow to a reeling industry, Moody's Investor Services has now cut its view on the entire banking system to negative from being stable. The firm said that they're making the move in light of the bank failures.
The entire banking industry.
With a
Good
dramatic
God.
rescue plan for depositors and other institutions impacted by the crisis. We have changed to negative from our stable outlook on the U.S. banking system to reflect the rapid deterioration in the operating environment following deposit runs
I will
of
say one thing: when
Silicon Valley
America's
Bank,
at war,
Silvergate Bank,
any
Signature
country's
Bank,
at war,
and the failures of SVB
it has a
and
different
SNY,
attitude. It's a
according to
different
Moody's
feel to
report.
the country.
You can't blame Moody's
Some of it
for being
helps
honest.
us become a better nation. Sometimes, I mean, I've really never seen our nation this split before.
Well, I have. During the Vietnam War, the country was very split because you had two wars going on at the same time. You had the Civil Rights Movement, which was a war, and you had the Vietnam War, and they were going simultaneously. And you talking about, we were split very, very much so. And that's during the time when you had the split in the Republican Party, because you had the liberal Republicans and you had the conservative Democrats. Now that doesn't make sense to you, but that's what we had. And that's what we had during the Vietnam War. The liberal Republicans were against it, but the conservative Democrats were for it. And actually, believe it or not, one of those conservative Democrats was Joe Biden. He was a conservative Democrat. Well, which was the same in some aspects as the Dixiecrat, because he joined in with the conservative Dixiecrat. But that was the Democratic. But you see, at that time, you had factions of both parties. What we now call the radical left and the radical right, they're just 180 degrees apart now. It has nothing to do with party. They're just 180 degrees. And they're 180 degrees from their own party. But they have to tolerate it. So the difference was there could be a case where a conservative Democrat sit down with a liberal Republican. They could be cordial and legislate. We don't have that. Conservative Democrats and the liberal Republicans agreed on it. The conservative and liberal Republicans were going to vote to put him out of office for big research. That's why he was in. But we don't have that now. We don't have the two factions within both parties. There's no such thing as a liberal Republican. There's no such thing as a conservative Democrat. And I've seen that in my life.
Almost a year. No one is more
Business
the markets and the economy again. This is why all companies with money management more than
I saw the Black Panther Party go from being a very well respected political party to being described by the FBI as a radical group.
Millions of Americans.
You know what the Black Panther Party is for? Right. Political party. In other words, in 1968, Black Panther Party was on the ballot in Alabama and Montgomery. Then the Rooster was the Democratic Party.
I know that the editors, no, I would go for it. I mean, they would like that.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you not be for this?
They were for the thing that disturbed America was they believed in being they believed in Second Amendment. Okay. They believed in Second Amendment because during that time you did have police who were actually killing black people, and we knew it because that's what killed them in Chicago. It was the police, and it's been proven. And they were paid $2 million.
Talking about one of the songs that is just a symbol of that time. Of course, it was Marvin Gaye in What's Going On. This is one of those songs that we listen to. Too young to understand it at 15 years old and 14 years old. Too young to understand. We knew something was going on. And today, they're going to have that Welcome Home commemoration for Vietnam prisoners of war. And so if you want to go out to National Air Force Base today, you can. See the wall, 15,000 names in that wall, the people who gave the ultimate sacrifice. They say everybody gave something, but some people gave all they had. And that's what's being commemorated today on National Record Day. You can actually go out there, you gotta register first. I don't know how you do that, but you can call out there and check it out. But you gotta have a driver's license. And I think people though, like Donald said, everybody's going out there. Probably already know that stuff. Okay. Because I don't expect 21 and 30, even 50-year-old people to go out there. 50-year-old people were born 1973. So, you know, anyway, 860-1414, number you want to call up, talk to us ever on the back. But the one thing about it, I still can figure out why they never declared it a war. And I do believe that there's a lesson between right. Because
well, we did call it.
We called it a war, but I believe that
it's just like in Ukraine. Right. It's not a war.
Korea.
Korea. It's a Korean conflict.
Yeah. When people start dying,
and people who actually went to Korea, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
They served in the Korean conflict. They don't think that they served in the Korean War, they served in the Korean. A lot of people do call Vietnam.
Now, here's what I do not know. The fact that it was not declared a war, do we limit the ability of our young men and women who are now older senior citizens now in their 70s? Do they not get everything that was due them because it was not called a war?
Yes, because they're in Arlington.
Right. But I don't know that I don't. And they all recognizes that. But I mean that I do not know because what
they receive all of the benefits of dying.
Right. But what does the
calling it a war? That's just that's political. That has nothing to do with anything else.
I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't mention at this point. A lot of people
right.
Know it wasn't.
But a lot of people, there's always something that goes along with the designation, and I don't know what these guys are missing. Yeah,
that's all that.
I don't know if that to be so.
There's nothing missing. I hope when you die by gunfire from that's
yeah, we agree with that, but they don't call it a war. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. I've never been asked for one. But then again, I never tried for a government job, so I don't think it, yeah. But if you're a veteran, you already get that. Oh. Yeah. Of course, by the time it gets through the system, though, brother from another, most will be different. Unless they make it. Right. But that is a good. That is a good thing because getting a discount with discharge back in those days certainly wouldn't be like it is now. I mean, but again, right, it wasn't a war, and so you cannot say. Well, the M60 machine gun, right, the M60 machine gun is not supposed to be used against people either. No, I know the 50 cal. The 50 cal. The 50 cal. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, again, now we did use an atomic. We use an atomic. Woo. Yeah. Right. Right. Is there any let me ask you, is there anything to your knowledge? Is there anything that veterans of Vietnam don't get or Korea because it was never declared a war? Or is that just a semantics on words? Do you know anything? Mm, mm, okay. But to you, just get back to my point, but you don't know of any disadvantages that a Vietnam veteran had because what he was that was not a war, so they're not but they still you still get all the same benefits from that stuff. Went to Iraq, went to Grenada, went to mm, mm, okay, yeah, mm, 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 okay. I've got to go to a break. Yeah, got to go to a hard break. I appreciate your call. 820-1440 is the number. We'll be right back.
Of any product before you buy. Blindstar.com. Another very cold start this morning, down in the low mid 30s.
Yeah, Don just don't like you. You don't like me either, though. I think he dislikes you more than he dislikes me.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hate,
Oh, no.
hate is hate.
Hate is hate. That's true.
How do you? Where's the hate meter? Doesn't matter. But but then again, he just. I don't see anyone he likes. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who comes and sit up here in that other chair.
That's true.
He'll.
He ain't prejudiced. He dogs everybody.
He dogs everybody. So I'm not offended by it because I know that's what he's gonna do. Because if he dogs, when I know one of the guys I thought, hey, he's gonna the Secretary of State. You remember when he was up here?
John Merrill?
Yeah. Yeah. He dogged John Merrill. He found he was trying to make him. I mean, he's a straight up guy. I'm like, golly, and a Republican. So how you gonna go against John Merrill for just giving me some facts?
Well, he gave me some facts, right? He gave me enough facts and things for me not to vote for a Democrat or a Republican. That's what he gave me. Their private parties, they don't give a crap about what we say.
Well, you know what? I thought you should have known. You're the smartest man in this room. You should have known that anyway.
Well, I knew there were two parties, but when you can take 14,000 votes and throw them in the trash, and nobody, no.
It's not the first time it's happened.
First time I ever heard of it. First time I ever heard of that. So you could take my vote and just throw it in the trash? I mean, that's un-American.
Yes, they did that before.
I never knew that.
When the Democrats chose the wrong one, they took it out and put somebody else in.
You're advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. You're championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we're realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all, here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Listen, I'm sorry, Lee. Traffic is terrible. It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently. Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays me cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app? Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas. Does that actually add to anything? I made around $200. Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BEST for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BEST for 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BEST for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Well, tomorrow's Friday Eve.
Huh?
Tomorrow's Friday Eve.
Yeah, Friday. You know, Kevin, on that, I told you the biggest case of that nationally, that was nationally known, was the Republican Party took their nominee for Senate, for the U.S. Senate.
Oh yeah, Keys.
And then put him in.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
Put Keys in.
I didn't
and
know
that's how Barack Obama won by a landslide. Because the people, even Republicans, you know what? Republicans voted for Barack Obama. Because they didn't choose Alan Keys.
Did Alan Keys win?
No, he didn't win. Barack Obama won.
No. I know he won. But did Alan Keys win?
No, the Republican Party chose him.
Oh, okay.
And he wasn't even from Illinois.
And that's my problem. They can do that.
They went out and found a black guy that they thought, because he was very well liked in the Republican community. Okay, so they thought because he was black and a Republican that he would be the one to go up against Barack Obama. They were going uphill anyway. That just made it even worse. That even Republicans didn't vote for him. They say, "Hey, you took our man out because of a sex scandal." Man, please. Now, if under today's circumstances, they wouldn't have taken him out because he was just said, "Oh, I had an affair. I'm sorry. Okay." And his wife would have stood up beside him and said, "Oh, I forgive him."
Yeah.
And he ran against Obama and won. That was the end of it.
All right, then. Don't forget to go out. It starts, I think it starts at 10 o'clock on Maxwell Air Force Base if you want to go out there and commemorate the boys coming home in 1973 after a prolonged stay in that little, I think it's called Hanoi, Brooklyn. And, I like travel, but that's one trip I'm glad I didn't make. I mean, I heard it, brother. Anyway, 860-1440, come back from. Good morning, who's this? Good morning, you in there? Oh. Well, I don't know you waited all that time, though. Anyway, we got 2 minutes left to talk about a couple other things. One thing, if you are planning to go out to Nashville, you have to be registered for what you got to get permission and all that stuff. Okay, make sure you got a driver's license with you. Make sure you have, some insurance on your car. We don't want you hitting up in the bills. Okay. 860-1440. There is a couple of things that was going on. One of the biggest cons that politicians put on poor folks every time they go into session is taking tax off the biggest con. It's a con. They raise $500 million in taxes every year. So it's not going. If it goes someplace, it'll just be moved to something. They're not going to get rid of it. So now you're going to pay less money for food, but now you're going to pay a lot more for gas. And they're going to get that 500. They're not giving away $500 million. Anyway, if anybody thinks that it is, that's 500. Let me ask. Yeah, that's 500. Well, that's what they say. I read it. I did research. Grocery, 500 million. 500 million on grocery. Right. You're sure about it? That's if it's wrong. It's a state of Alabama says. I got that information there. Now, here's the thing about it. Well, here's one thing about it. The poorest people about this. That doesn't make a difference. Because they get food stamps. Right. They don't pay that. So only the people that we're paying now are the people who are paying more. Now, the cash, they'll be paying more. Right. They pay. One who's this? Good morning, who's this? Good morning. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. Uh, hmm. Well, we want them to continue to make weapons that protect our country and our allies too. Yeah. Right? Right. Right. Yeah. Maybe you ought to go out to wherever the nearest weapons business is and see if you can put in for a job. Yeah. Somebody gonna get paid. Won't be me. Appreciate that information, but make sure you can pass a security test. You know, whatever that thing is that they do. Anyway, but anyway, I asked Thomas about the tax thing. If the state says the state won't collect tax on the food, then we're looking at about 4% off the food, not 10%, like 4%. Now they say grocery cannot be taxed at all, then that's one of them. So we have to look at the language in the bill, but either way, they're not going to give the money up.
We're talking about the state tax.
Right. And they're not going to give the money up.
What is it? 4%.
4%. They're
4%
going to
state tax.
they're going to put that tax on something else, either on your car tags, on your purchase of an automobile. Either way it goes, they're going to put that money. They're not going to give up $500 million in revenue. That ain't going to happen. Turn off your radio. Good morning. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Somebody told me that they are building weapons up somewhere on Troy Highway. They need some help. Okay then.
There you go.
I'm good. Tell me what the place is. Go apply for a job up there. Now, they probably don't want you smoking marijuana. I'm just saying. You might want to, wait till next time that gets out the system. The last thing we need is somebody building weapons and blew everybody up. Okay, so they was feeling good that day. So I'm just so you might not want to go out there. I am looking for a financial guy to come on the show once a month to talk to my people. The other day, I found out that what a 401k is. And I've been here 21 years, and I really never knew what it was. I just thought it was for rich people. I did. I didn't.
Wow.
So I didn't put no money in it. That's it. When I think about giving my money for my checkup, pay the light bill, the gas bill, gas, grocery. I ain't got no time to put no money in nothing like that. Yeah.
You never put any money in?
No, they never explained it to me.
Oh,
I mean, really, I thought it was for management.
Well, there goes you being the smartest man in the room.
I just said I knew everything. I mean, I gotta get
At least I knew what my 401k was at Montgomery.
Okay. Did you take money out? Okay.
I was vested. None of your business. I was vested.
It's gone now, ain't it? I mean, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just saying, I need the financial guy to come. Because if you got a business, and I thought I would luck out. Somebody said that the businesses would normally, some will put money in there for you if you don't put any in there at all. Not too I thought I might luck up and go in and get that.
Some will pay a portion.
Yeah. But the cumulus only pays if you put some in it, which I guess they say, hell, if you don't want to invest, why should I invest?
Some will give you choices of what to invest.
Yeah, right. And so I needed. I mean,
because at Winn-Dixie, they gave us a choice to invest in stock in Winn-Dixie.
Yeah. So if you,
and at that time, it doubled a couple of years.
So if you got a 401k, I don't care if you don't put but $20 a month in it, put it in it, okay? Because you never can tell how long you're gonna keep your job. I didn't expect to be here 20 years. I mean, I just thought they're gonna hire brother and fire brother. Good morning. Who's this?
Oh no!
Well, listen,
we called him out.
I wanted to admit it. I thought it was for rich people.
Well, I didn't say that.
But he's right.
I didn't say it.
I thought, listen, 401k were people with white collars, good ties, and but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I just didn't know. Yeah. I mean, well, again, I just didn't know. I thought that, well, except about, I missed the class on 401k. Okay. Yeah, I did. Yeah. 20 years, 21 years.
On finance.
Yeah, I know. I got you. We'll be back. I got it.
No, man.
21 years.
I wouldn't tell anybody.
I don't mind telling people because I don't. Maybe somebody
you missed out.
I did.
On a lot.
I did. I
because now that you're of age,
you got that money.
Yeah. Because there are options how to draw it out. You don't have to draw all of it. You can draw a portion, you have a monthly. Oh man.
I just didn't realize. I thought it was for management. I thought it was for management, not me. I just didn't see somebody.
No.
You're not telling me.
Yourself. If you don't know. You didn't have people working around you that told you that?
No. Because this is the only place I ever heard of it. I never heard of it before. In the Army, you do 401k. So I just now they do. Now they do. They didn't know they did. We'll give you access to 401k. Yeah,
well, most jobs, the jobs that people call decent manufacturing jobs, they offer 401k. It's like a drawing card. And that's one of the things you get. You get a 401k. You get this benefit and that benefit.